Well, good morning and welcome to Talking Point here on WESN, the content capital, September 1st, 2022. First of all, we hope that you had a safe and enjoyable Independence Day, Independence celebrations, and, well, I hope it was restful and relaxful. We've entered the last third of the year of 2022. Time is certainly flying by. Now, my name is Keaton Shaw. I'm happy that you're with us this morning because it is a privilege to reintroduce to Talking Point a face whom you have not seen for quite some time, a voice that you have not heard for quite some time, but he is back with us, and he's not with us via Zoom. He's alongside me in studio this morning, Mr. Sean Michael Small, the original co-host and colleague of WSN's Talking Point. Hello, Sean. Welcome back.
It's great to be back, Ethan. It's great to be back. It's been a while. I have been totally disconnected from what's going on, so it's actually interesting now to jump back into the fray. We just had our 60th anniversary of independence. It's an interesting milestone. I think we might be taking it for granted what it means, Keaton. Nations, we all think, oh yeah, TNT is my nation and all the nations of the world, but we don't realize how young they are, how young we are. But we've reached an interesting point where arguably the majority of the population, even if they were alive for it, might not actually even remember what life was like before independence. Most of the people, even in the 60s, you would have been 10 or under. What was life like before independence? I don't know. This is all we know. So it's interesting. We are forging a path for ourselves. In some ways we're doing well, in other ways we're doing poorly. And I do think we do need to sometimes sit back and realize that there's not a lot of examples for the world and for nations like ours to just say, well, we'll just follow them.
First of all, I'm glad that you didn't follow much of what was taking place over the last couple of weeks while you were down and out. It probably helped your situation a lot more. You wouldn't have gotten a lot more stress and your illness aggravated. But before we get into that, Sean, how are you? How are you keeping? It's good to see you. I know you're well enough to be with us, but the road to recovery continues with a lot more to do and a long way to go still. Yeah,
so I got hit with a double whammy. So I think what I had was, as much as there was the viral infection, there was the secondary bacterial infection. And I think that is actually what hit me harder than the virus. So, of course, the virus is the big elephant for the last 2 years. So that bacterial infection, that secondary infection, I believe it affected my throat, it affected my ability to talk. It was the worst sore throat I ever had in my life. Luckily, I was able to figure out like a way to manage it. In my case, strepsils and lozenges and all of those things, they didn't really work because as soon as it was finished, the pain started right away. It was a hell of a thing. For the most part, I think both are cleared up. I just have this lingering cough that seems to be quite persistent for the last, week. It's more or less just been at that level of it's just there.
And it's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's going to be there for a while. Nevertheless, Sean, it's good to see you once more. It's good to have you back on the program. Mr. Camille Pascal.
I saw that. And I missed the Independence Day episode, and you all were in matching outfits. And if we checked the record last year, I probably wore that same outfit, so I'm a little disappointed.
Actually, I do recall last year, and you were very upset last year because you wore your white shirt, you wore your red tie.
Oh, and I had my
And when you got to WSN, you realized you picked up your wrong jacket.
I picked up my gray jacket. Yeah. Yes, only me. I think that was the one time.
I never forgot that, by the way, and I remembered it on Monday.
That was the one time that it mattered which jacket I picked up. It really did. And that's the one time I got it wrong. The one time I got it wrong.
Listen,
because
you're wearing the red, white, and black today.
Well, yes.
You're making up for it.
I realized, back in the candy stripe, apparently, the health minister, he needs some candy stripes as well to help him out too.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, Sean is back with us. So as you know, the conversation goes a bit more this morning than usually because there's so much to catch up on. But we do have some very special guests joining us after 8:20 this morning, and then after 8:40 as well. They would be joining us on the program. So we're looking forward to that interview. So with the time that we have, let's look at some general topics. First of all, potholes. Somebody actually put up, I don't know if you saw it, Sean, happy 60th anniversary, happy Indie Pothole Nation yesterday.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised.
It was hilarious. I actually wish that I had the photos to share with you this morning because I laughed. I laughed because, yes, we're looking at the positives. On Tuesday, we had our independence show, and we really celebrated Trinidad and Tobago. But then the reality struck once more yesterday with just that photo that was circulating on social media. Hopefully, maybe later on, we'll get to share it with you. But you made a very good point in relation to, yes, Trinidad and Tobago is a very young nation still. 60 years is quite young for an independent nation. We're even younger as a republic nation, which, by the way, there is significance to that as well. We're looking forward to.
Is there really?
There's a bit of significance.
I mean, Canada is not a republic. As far as I'm aware, the Queen of Canada, aka the Queen of England, if Canada wanted to declare war, technically speaking, she would have to declare war for Canada now with the actual practical process. You know, a lot of that is mainly ceremonial. You know, it's not up to her. But, you know, Canada is doing just fine and they're technically not a republic. So, is it really? I mean, again, you yourself asked, what does the president do? So
no, please, when quoting me, get it accurately. I asked, what does this president do? I mean, what does this president do?
Outside of Robinson having to deal with a tied election back in the day, what has any president done of significance besides ceremonial?
The argument that you've made, using Canada as the example, I'll give you, it's a fair argument. However, to counteract your argument, I will use the same example. On a technical level, Trinidad and Tobago will have more freedom and more prosperity as compared to Canada.
I don't know about prosperity.
Knowing that we have our own head of state. Again, I understand your skepticism given the fact that our president really only, she doesn't even work 9 to 5, she works 3 days of the year.
To paraphrase a saying, the president will change the price of bread.
Well, not this one anyway.
Not
this one anyway.
But I mean, be that as it may, you know, our Independence Day was acknowledged by England.
In the House of Commons.
In the House of Commons, they raised the flag, our flag, to celebrate our independence. And I think people, you know, it's interesting that we have basically now people who were not adults, weren't even young adults or teenagers when we were dependent for the most part. There's still some people who might have been alive at that point. But I do wonder if they take the whole colonizer meme, social media thing too far when they look at our relationship with England and they want to always view it through that lens. Whereas to me, England is not really a master or former master, but they're part of the Commonwealth. Yes, okay, the Queen is head of the Commonwealth and whatever, and they still have a leading position. Well, you know, it's not like our economy is going to, you know, lend England a hand when they need help. England, the Commonwealth, these sorts of extra international trade networks coming out of COVID, I will say it again, these are the things that we should be looking to try to, you know, figure out our economy post-oil, because it seems as though even in the Gulf, you know, Dubai, a lot of the Gulf states looking at post-oil, their plans don't seem to be working out very well either. And I do have to wonder, you know, 6 years of independence, we do have to always look at the next 6 years.
Now, in relation to the Commonwealth, yes, it's a good argument. This entire notion of a younger generation being more liberated in their way of thinking and their process of
but
analyzing
still holding
situations.
on to the past.
Exactly. Now, I'm so grateful that there's that level of freedom. I mean, long ago, you needed permission from your parents to even think, about these things. Now, in that case, it's changing, and it has changed. It'll continue to change. But that same liberated mindset is also causing some trouble, because the aspect of holding on to the past, with some having the opinion, Kemal and I debated it on Tuesday, that we should have still been under British rule. There are also some who cannot wait to get away from the British Empire. You see, Trinidad and Tobago still is choosing to be a part of the Commonwealth. And you just mentioned the United Kingdom. What is taking place in the United Kingdom right now, with the battle between Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss for the seat of Conservative leader and future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom? That's also going to look at the future of the Commonwealth. That's also going to tell us about where Trinidad and Tobago lies in terms of a trade partnership with the United Kingdom. So yes, as much as people may have some level, they might detest the United Kingdom to a certain degree, I don't think they understand the relationship, especially the economical and the security relationship as well. Security as well.
One of the things I think people take for granted, we're not just a small country, right? In America, you could have a small town. And a lot of our cities and communities are small towns. And when you add it up together, we don't even get a big city, right? There are multiple cities in America with much more population than us, right?
Well, a city in the United States,
denser,
their population is greater than the population of TNT.
Yeah, easily. Or at our level, but denser, right? The key is, what's the point? We're not just like a small town in comparison, a society compared to the big urban sprawls of the first world. We're also isolated. We have no bigger brother, federal government that's going to look over us. So like with what happened with Flint, Michigan, with the water levels there. You know, at the end of the day, the city was doing some foolishness. They had lead in the water, or it was causing some problems with the contamination of the water. There was still a federal government to look over them. If a city law and order breaks down or something happens, there's still a federal government and federal agencies to look over them. We don't have that. We are 1.4 million people approximately. And we're on our own, for better or worse. And I see the practical arguments, or the pros, not to say that they aren't cons, but the pros of if we weren't independent would have been that England could have acted in that role, right? And the key point with that role is not somebody to lord over us. It's to have outsiders who you could always find somebody who doesn't have a personal stake in what's going on here. So the objectivity level arguably will be greater.
Now, hold on. Yes, but you said wouldn't have a stake. If we were still under British rule, the United Kingdom will view us as if we're looking at it simply as an investment, as a liability.
But random public servants, not from here, would not have a personal stake necessarily here. And you could isolate it and say, well, no. If you have a personal stake here, you can't come and be the checks and balances for here, right? You can't have a conflict of interest and be checks and balances as part of the next level of government. And that's what the federal government is supposed to be for state and local in the states. Yes, we have local government here, but it's not the same thing. For all intents and purposes, it's not the same thing.
We could have achieved a similar situation. We could have. We had the opportunity, and we still have the opportunity. But you yourself have hit the nail on the head in terms of interference at all levels. And that continued penetration of that autonomy from government to entity. We can have it. We don't need to be under British rule to have that.
To be fair to politicians, right? Think about it. The amount of times that the former Attorney General Faraz Awari, Minister of Local Government, he had to recuse himself. The whole situation with him renting his in-laws' building or his family's building.
Rohan Sinanan as well.
Rohan Sinanan as well. And I'm sure there are examples for the UNC, right? To some extent, we're a small nation. So the argument of, well, we can't just exclude the family of every single politician that we will ever have that will actually make things to some extent difficult. It's not as though we're always going to have 10, 15, 20 options for every single tender that we're going to have in the country. So our politicians, our law enforcement in particular, well, they're from here. They're from the communities. I mean, ASP Ali said it himself. Officers come from the communities. They have to deal with some of the same challenges as the ordinary citizen, some of the same temptations as the ordinary citizen. Having a third party that is external, there's cons to that because they won't understand the locals, and that could cause some problems. But the benefit is they're outsiders. They don't have to worry about the same things, right? So that's the pro, because it allows them to act more freely.
We're going to have to pause on that, but the point that you just made, as in they're outsiders, they would understand. The first thing that came to my mind is that when you see the legislation that we have today, and it's so old and outdated, it doesn't reflect on Trinidad and Tobago as a society. So yes, having a third eye, as you'd like to say.
I mainly say this for crime.
Fair enough.
And corruption.
But across the board, there are arguments for pros and their cons. We looked at the cons on Tuesday. We looked at pros this morning. The conversation and the debate surrounding whether or not Trinidad and Tobago would have benefited still being under British rule, that will continue to go on because everybody will have an opinion on it. But with about 3 minutes left for this particular segment, I need to honestly vent a little bit because we celebrated 6 years as a nation yesterday, and I wanted everybody to celebrate and be a part of it.
Hey, Trinidad is old enough to retire.
Not on our NIS system. Not on our NIS.
I mean, not anymore. That's true.
I mean, people in Trinidad can't retire.
Trinidad can't afford to retire. Right.
But anyway.
Which is true. Right now, Trinidad probably cannot afford to retire.
You came to work this morning.
Trinidad and Tobago. My apologies.
You saw how Gassiga Street looks. You saw how Traggart Road looks. We celebrated independence yesterday. Everybody is jumping up. Everybody's having a great time, a wonderful time, you know, celebrating what is TNT, patriotism, nationalism, all the fancy words that you like to call it. And the simple little thing about being responsible and mature enough to keep a clean environment, Trinidad and Tobago at 60 years still cannot achieve that. And no, it's not up to the government. Quite frankly, it's up to you, the individual, you, the citizen. I came to work this morning. Traggart Road, at least at the top of Traggart Road by Gassiga Street. Gassiga Street is full of rubbish. There's garbage everywhere. Outside of the office is a mess. On the gate to the car park to the office, they have garbage bags tied, left unopened, so it's tied to the gate. There's garbage and mess everywhere. So people are still inconveniencing others. People are still being unfortunately immature and quite frankly stupid at the mere fact that yes, we can have a good time, but what are we celebrating if it is we can't even have a sense of maturity or responsibility? Because a simple little thing like being able to keep your surroundings clean, we still cannot do that as a nation together. Sean, I remember in primary school, and you used to have litter all the time, but the teachers would always say, you will never go to your own home. You will never be in your own house. Well, you would do that.
Well, I would have to say, I cannot. Life has taught me that there probably is some people who will do that in their own house, okay? The minority, I don't know how many, but just the law of averages says there will be human beings who do that. With that said, I think part of it is the fact that, yes, it's not all up to government. We have to do our part. But I also think that we do not have the infrastructure in place because what do people do? They have trash in garbage bags. Okay, good. Not all of it might be in the right spot. Bad. But if they were all in collection spots, and maybe that is another problem, that's a whole other thing to talk about. Putting garbage on the side of the road to be collected, as opposed to having dumpsters. I don't think we had the service. I could be wrong. Did we have the service to collect the trash between the celebrations last night and this morning?
All right.
And with the extra trash, a functional society would have had overtime to collect or start collecting some of the trash last night.
Not that your point is invalid, but your point, as I see it, and though I must respect it, is an excuse for those to continue with their actions. You see, as much as we do not necessarily have the infrastructure as bins all over the place, bear in mind, let's look at a prime example that we've spoken about on this program before. When the Japanese went to Brazil at the World Cup, they stayed behind after. They brought garbage bags with them. They cleaned up the stadium.
All right, so if you're talking about litter, just litter on the street.
Of course, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to take a quick break here on the program, but let me just tell you, Miss Santa Cruz is welcoming you back to the program. She sends her warmest regards. And, well, Kemiel seems to be laughing at my rant this morning. Good morning, Kemiel. So that's a good sign.
I mean, but it's true. At the end of the day, if we can't do the little things, why do we expect to maintain the big things?
And, folks, as we take our break, our directors are so efficient here at WSN, and they actually want a photo of what I said was circulating on social media yesterday with respect to the potholes. So as we take our break, take a look at this photo. When we come back later on... Can we get it one more time very quickly? Happy Indie Pothole Day, Trinidad and Tobago. We'll be right back after this here on Talking Points.
Indie Pothole.
Happy Independence from Motor Care and Maintenance MCM Limited for all your vehicle repairs, diesel and gas. Approved vehicle inspection station. Celebrate and enjoy life in your fully electric and hybrid Mini. Happy Independence TNT from LaFast Motors.
Nuance Security and Solar Systems Limited, ensuring value with renewable energy solutions for all.
We celebrate with TNT, Medical Associates Private Hospital, offering cutting-edge technology for all our customers' health issues.
You can become a highly trained emergency response professional that can operate in the health, corporate, industrial, and educational sectors. Tech EMS courses include EMT, AEMT, paramedic, BLS, ACLS, PALS, First Aid, CPR, AED, and other courses.
Register early for September 2022.
What's your choice? Choice Optical. That's my choice.
Welcome to the American University of Barbados School of Medicine. We offer 2 comprehensive MD programs, 5.5-year program for high school finishers, and 4-year program for college graduates.
The American University of Barbados has been accredited with the Barbados Accreditation Council, BAC, and has been accredited
by CAMHP.
as the medical school has affiliate hospitals at Baltimore and Chicago in the USA and the Caribbean islands.
Register early for September 2022. The Guide family has been serving TNT for over 70 years. From the management and staff of JE Guide Funeral Home and Crematorium, Happy Independence. Independence greetings from J&A Supermarket and Deli on the Avenue for your grocery items, market items, grab-and-go meals, plus mobile phones and accessories.
Rise to the occasion with Cocky Lucky, exclusively sold at the Big Mike Wellness Center.
Number 19 Market Street in Aruka. Contact 346-26 or 338-7775.
Enjoy your independence. The Retail Warehouse Christmas Village is open. This independence, get a massive 50% off selected items while stocks last. When you need land, a home, or investment property, step-by-step property consultancy and management can help you. Happy Independence.
welcome back to Talking Point here on WESN. Now, on WESN and on Talking Point, we always strive to inform and educate. And we also encourage all those out there to help educate others. But more so, what we're seeing is a particular company not only educating others and training others, but also giving individuals skills, giving them the necessary training that are not only going to help others in society, but help those individuals themselves to prosper, to be better persons, and live a better life. I'm speaking about Tech EMS, and this morning we have the Managing Director and Lead Instructor of Tech EMS, Mr. Ababa Batiste, as well as the General Manager of Tech EMS, Mrs. Nyla Bartlett Batiste. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Welcome to Talking Points, and thank you very much for joining us.
Morning.
Greetings. Thank you for the welcome.
Well,
thank you so much for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure. Now, a general question. I'll start with Ms. Nyla Bartlett Batiste. Ladies first. How does Tech EMS Training Academy help persons save lives?
So, as in our organization, what we do is we teach people how to save lives. So we teach first aid, basic life support, advanced life support. So we teach people the interventions that are necessary to save a life on every spectrum, on every level.
Well, Mr. Ababa, as the lead instructor, I see here that you were trained in the US. Can you share some of your background, the training you've had, and also could you explain the affiliation Tech EMS has with the American Heart Association?
Sure, certainly. Thanks again for our presence here. My training started off in New York in 1990. I trained as an emergency medical technician, which is basic in EMS. And I was humbly honored to be carried straight up to instructor position. And I started as an instructor immediately after I completed my EMT training. And eventually I went up the ladder to become a paramedic and instructor in basic life support with the American Heart Association, advanced life support, advanced cardiac life support, and pediatric life support with the American Heart Association. And from there, I continued in certain universities, as in John Jay Criminal Justice, Borough Manhattan Community College, LaGuardia Community College, and certain hospitals, as in Booth Memorial Hospital, and New York Downtown, NYU, Beekman Hospital. And it went on where I had a good reputation because I had a passion for making a difference in competency. I believe that if you want to be a true patient advocate, your competency must always be optimized. And that's my take.
Now, you just mentioned passion, and that is absolutely important in anything that you do, because if you have a passion for it, you're going to ensure that you do it to the best of your ability. So certainly I can see why Tech EMS is the premier institution for advanced training. In fact, if you can just elaborate a bit further on the courses that you offer and the importance of specialized training.
Okay, so some of the courses we offer, from the one spectrum to the other, first aid for persons who might need to get some information and knowledge on the right way to assist family and friends, or some companies may train their employees to be first aiders, and it's with OSHA, it's mandatory in some areas. We also do the EMS training as an emergency medical technician. That's pre-hospital care for emergency medical services. The EMT is basic, and then we do the advanced EMT training and also the paramedic training, which the paramedics are more utilized in the oil and gas. They are advanced practitioners. They are highest advanced practitioners in the pre-hospital care settings, which is in the field before you get to the hospital, the professional care you get. We also train doctors and nurses in basic life support through American Heart Association credentialing, advanced cardiac life support and pediatric advanced life support. In the PITA, you see intubation is taking place. We train doctors in managing the patient's airway, advanced airway management. We take pride in these courses. We also train folks in IV cannulation who might have a little challenge, advanced airway management, as you see in the demonstration there. And these are a few doctors that I'm training there, that we are training. And we also do ECG interpretation, which we are blessed with a system that is very second to none in accuracy in interpreting ECG accurately and quickly. So these are some of the courses that we actually offer to the public, as in the medical field practitioners and the general public at large.
Well, Mrs. Batiste, I don't know, Mr. Batiste mentioned oil and gas companies and various other corporate entities and medical practitioners. Would you be able to give us some examples of who might have come to Tech EMS to undertake some of these courses? And also for the general public, how easy would it be for a member of the general public? Do you all get just a lot of private citizens coming in to take some of those courses to help with their families?
Yes and no. COVID had caused a lot of slowdown in folks coming to do courses. Unfortunately, it affected a lot of businesses. But we've been having folks at this point starting to show more interest in the first aid training. Doctors are showing more interest into the advanced courses, as in advanced cardiac life support and pediatric advanced life support, and also ECG interpretation. Advanced airway management is a hot one with the doctors as well, because they train ones how to intubate a patient, which is a form of securing the airway with a definitive approach. We are simply open for anyone interested in our courses. Our number 706-6202 or 731-4712. Also, our office number is 303-8324. 303, which is 8324. We are humbly willing and always ready and able to make a positive difference so that we can cause a more sustainable, competent medical society in Trinidad and by extension the Caribbean. Speaking of the Caribbean, we just came back from Grenada. We did some training over in Grenada. We trained and graduated 18 EMTs and 1 paramedic. That was in our paramedic Trinidad course, the online blended learning approach. And we did some work there with the Ministry of Health, with some doctors and some nurses. So we are all about competency, enhancing one's psychomotive, one's critical thinking, and with a sequential structure approach to cardiac management.
Well, Mrs. Batiste, as Mr. Batiste just mentioned, you are simply open to anyone wanting to come to Tech EMS to receive that level of training, who's open and willing to learn. Is there any minimum age requirement or minimum qualification needed in order to be a part of any course at Tech EMS?
Okay, so the minimum age requirement would be persons 18 years and older. For the emergency medical technician, AEMT and paramedic. For the advanced life support, basic life support and so on, it's 18 years and older as well. However, we do have courses for children that cater to younger persons, pediatric first aid and so on, and the heart saver first aid courses, which cater to the younger persons. So we have something for everyone that can teach everyone the steps that they can take if in the event that something does happen, what to do.
Well, so your courses, of course, medical practitioners, people with requirements in their corporate job, they've taken the course. That's a given. But with regards to the training itself, are there job opportunities? Perhaps somebody could look to take these courses and seek to maybe do a career change, be it they might have lost their job because of COVID. What sort of jobs could you get from this sort of training?
Okay, as far as the courses we offer, The EMS courses allows one to transfer from one training to another, and there are job opportunities for persons doing the EMS courses as in EMT, AEMT, paramedic. EMT stands for Emergency Medical Technician. Advanced Emergency Medical Technician is the next step up, and then paramedic, which is the highest level. So folks doing these courses can look into employment. However, for the higher end medical practitioner courses for doctors and nurses, one has to be already an advanced practitioner, as in a nurse or a doctor, to take these courses, which are basic life support, advanced cardiac life support, and pediatric advanced life support. It gives one a more competent edge as managing patient care appropriately and competently.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Batiste, your classes, are they online, are they blended? And if I'm not mistaken, I think you are starting from September 2022. The new courses begin from September 2022?
Yes, we do have a new emergency medical technician cycle starting in September. We are a blended learning institution now. So we deliver our lectures for the emergency medical technician, the advanced emergency medical technician, and the paramedic online. And then our candidates come into us for skill practice. The American Heart Association courses are the same as well. They have a heart code to complete online, and then our candidates come into us for skill authentication.
Certainly. Well, Mr. Batiste, Mrs. Nyla Bartlett-Batiste, I want to thank you very much. But I must share with the public, if you are interested in getting more information, you can go online to www.techemstt.com or email TechEMS at techemstraining@gmail.com. Contact them at 731-4712 or 706-6202. Once more, 731-4712, 706-6202. Mr. and Mrs. Batiste, thank you very much for joining us on Talking Point this morning. And I must say kudos to you and to TechEMS, not only for the services that you are offering to the public, but the service that you are doing for the public by not only training individuals and educating them, but allowing them to harness their own potential and to look at career paths that some may not even know about or some may not even realize exist. So to both of you, well done, and congratulations to TechEMS. And in future, well, we welcome you to Talking Point again.
I would just like to say, for second allows that we are Ministry of Education approved training center through the National Training Agency, and we also American Heart Association approved international training site. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And that, by the way, is just the cherry on top of the icing. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Good luck,
Thank
good luck,
you.
and hopefully many more successful training cycles, many more successful
graduates.
And graduates.
Definitely.
Well received, and thank you, and all the best to you all with the good work that you all are doing.
Thank you. All the best. Well, folks, that was Mr. Ababa Batiste. He is the Managing Director and Lead Instructor at TechEMS, and Mrs. Nyla Bartlett-Batiste, General Manager. For more information, visit them at www.techemstt.com or email them at techemstraining@gmail.com. We take a break here on Talking Points, and when we return, well, we have more conversations with individuals who are really reaching out to society, who are truly doing their part in making a better tomorrow for many who probably don't have much hope today. We'll be right back after this.
To give me more smiles and motivation to lead to and delivered nationwide. Kiss Enriched Bread.
Fill your day with love.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
The best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, bathtubs. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship McLean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. Order via call or WhatsApp at 332-BABY. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing on it.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is it no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Welcome back to Talking Point here on WESN. This morning joining us is the co-pastor of Life in Life Ministries, Reverend Michelle Young. To give you a bit of a background, Reverend Michelle Young is a pastor of the Christian faith who chooses to spend her time in the trenches with the people. There are those inside the church and those outside who have needs, both spiritual and physical. Her passion is to serve those whom God sends to the ministry for help. She, alongside her husband, Reverend Dr. Christopher Young, founded and co-pastors of the Church of Life in Life Ministries, which is located at number 62 to 64 Sackville Street in Port of Spain. Life in Life Ministries, a Christian community, was birthed in 2015, just recently celebrated its 7th anniversary on the 7th of August this year. Its main focus is meeting the spiritual and physical needs of individuals through teaching and preaching the Word of God, discipleship, as well as distributing of food, clothing, items, and others to members of the wider community, and the way of a weekly hamper drive, which Reverend Michelle Young, as its lead reverend. Reverend Young is married for over 43 years, is a mother of 3, a grandmother of 10, and truly is committed to answering the Word of God and the call of God in her life. Reverend Young, welcome to Talking Point. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really, really appreciate it, Keaton. So I've just stopped seeing you. I'm seeing 2 of me, which is not really a good thing, I think. I should be seeing you as well.
Well, hopefully you'll see myself and my co-host very shortly.
Okay.
But Reverend, could you tell us about Life in Life Ministries and the church community?
This church community is made up of a high number of young adults, I would say between the ages of 18 and 40, but we do have a lot of older people. But I'm just stressing the young adults because I want you to know that while we hear about young adults aren't living worthwhile lives, I will tell you that it is not our experience that way. We have a lot who are passionate to walk right, to do things right, and to help those who have less than themselves. Both physically and spiritually. So as you've read it, it was founded in 2015, and we are not simply focused on those who are within the walls of the church. We actually like to go out. In fact, before COVID, we went outside the walls of the church a lot more often. And it's a very sad situation with the hunger situation in this country. So we are trying to really reconsolidate to do something about it. God has blessed us with a food bank, Heaton. With our last move to Sackville Street, we found we had space for a food bank. So it's been over a year now. And every Friday we've been giving out hampers to between 50 to 100 families. It all varies, depends on the week. We've been giving out hampers of food.
Well, Reverend Young, perhaps you could explain that further, because first of all, even without what's been happening in the last 3 years, you know, have we had or have there been families in TNT with difficulties getting food? Has there been a bit of a food crisis maybe for the poorer end, those that sit at the poorer end of the economic spectrum? But then also, whether there was or there was not, we had COVID. That had its challenges. Now we have food inflation because of the war in Ukraine. Has the situation worsened, or rather, how bad has it worsened, I guess I should ask?
It has worsened. I will tell you that even though we did feed some people before this last move over a year ago, it never occurred to us that there would be a need for food bank. Not because we didn't care, it just hadn't happened. I can tell you that Living Water Community, which we know has had a food bank established for many, many, many years, we network. We're not isolated. So we know that they have always had a need to give out on a weekly basis. So we were aware there's a problem. I don't think someone would have a food bank and not have a reason for having it. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you that when COVID hit, a lot of jobs were lost. A lot of people did not get their jobs back. And when you combine the effects of COVID, like for example, we have families where a sister lost a sister. So we end up with a family with 9 children, 4 from one sister, 5 from another. Families having to step in because lots of deaths, but also too, the jobs just aren't there. And the war in Ukraine has made it worse because we have members of the community who themselves, they're farmers, and they have been warning us 2 years previously their shortage is going to come, and it's gotten worse. I would tell you, listen, there is a new type of poverty. These are people who never thought they would have to stand in line to ask for a hamper of food for their family. And it is not the same people every week. People ask us, okay, so do you have them on a database? Yes, we do. We can account for all that we do. But these are people, new people coming every week. And I want to just say, the Latinos who are legally here, I just got a word 2 days ago from one of their members, one of the members of the church that, you know, networks with them to let us know what's going on with us. Many of them, again, are starting to go back home because they can't get food. Now, I mean, sometimes, you know, as Trinidadians, we like to say, well, let's take care of our own. God says, take care of everyone. Take care of the orphans, take care of the widows, take care of the refugees. The fact is, the majority of people that come to us are from Trinidad and Tobago, from all over the island, and it is worse. It is a very serious scenario that I am surprised there isn't a lot more said about it. And it's really bothering me because funds are dropping, donors are dropping. I don't know what to say except I think it's horrendous, to be honest.
Miss Young, Reverend Young.
Yes.
Sorry, I was listening to you and I was so caught into what you were stating. It hits us because, you know, we realize every day how fortunate that some of us are to even wake up and, you know, we're still able to come to work and still able to go home, you know. So it really is hitting. But on that note, how can one get more involved with Life on Life Ministries? How can we volunteer to be a part of your program and to assist with the food bank?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to say I know that there are other churches that are doing their part. and I just want to make sure I say what I'm about to say. You know, sometimes there's bad publicity about churches, and it's all on the papers, and everybody says churches are terrible. I just want the nation to know that there are those churches, not just Life and Life, there are other communities that are literally using whatever their members bring in, pay bills, and use the rest for food. And I just want us to start to look at those things, those positive things, because I think a lot of bad publicity has affected churches and communities who literally want to make a difference in this nation. We are not here just to come on a Sunday and pray. We are not here just to collect tithes and offerings, because the tithes and offerings, we tell people, whatever the bills are paid, the rest is turned into food. And the government has been gracious. At times, they have given somewhat to us. We are not saying they don't. We are saying that they've been very limited. And what they've given, maybe it has helped us with 2 Fridays, okay? And so I want to say that we just celebrated, you know, the independence. I mean, how long has this country, the word independent, which means we're supposed to be taking care of our people. We are independent of other nations helping us. But at the end of the day, here we are in a country where I cannot bear the calls. When I get them, Miss, I can't feed the children after today. I have books to buy, and I know that there are ministries like ITNAC and others who are doing their best. I am letting the nation of Trinidad and Tobago know, if we are truly independent, then we have got to pull together and not be dependent, but come together and give what we can, whether it is we give of some of our own supplies, or we talk about this and we make it known there's hunger in this nation. We are very careful not to harp on, please send money to the account. I mean, I could easily give you an account number, but to be honest, Keaton, to tell you the truth, I think we as a nation need to stop and ask ourselves, okay, in what way? There may be another church listening, there may be a company listening, there may be people working for a company listening. We are looking for long-term support to help Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not asking for help for Life and Life Ministries, okay? And so in what way can people help? There are people that volunteer to come to help us give out hampers. At this point in time, the supply has really dropped, so our team can handle the giving out and the counseling, because we counsel as we give out. When people come, they don't just get food, okay? Many of them are burdened. We need a long-term supply solution for what is going to get worse. If you think it's not affecting you yet, I'm not speaking a word over you, I'm saying it's going to start affecting. It has already started in families who never thought that they would need help. So there's financial, there's bringing in of food items, there is you go into your neighborhood and begin to look around, and you find people who cannot make ends meet and offer to help them. I'm not even asking you to come to Life and Life, though I'm asking for help for this ministry to feed the people. I think people need to start going into their communities and making a difference there. Every little bit will help someone.
Reverend, we only have about 2 minutes left, but you know, I'm grateful that you did address the situation, as in the image or the publicity that churches receive, and the opinion of those who are probably not a part of the church, the public opinion that is. And I appreciate the fact that you have called on everybody. You know, you don't need to come to Life and Life Ministries. Yes, we would appreciate any donation or any form of help, but go into your communities, because the situation is far greater than what you may even think it is. Yes. Reverend Young, as we close this, thank you very much for your time, and I really would like to speak to you to a great extent on the program in future, so I will remain in contact with you.
Yes.
But are you seeing, with the minute that we have left, are you seeing a greater sense of people willing, a greater willingness for those to volunteer and do their part in whatever capacity they can? Because I know you mentioned the supply has dropped, but are people still giving whatever they can in whatever form they can give it in?
I wish I could tell you yes, except, and I'm just going to be, give honor where honor is due. Living Water Community has continued every month to give us, consistently to give out. But other than that, we have not seen the consistency. We know that companies are under pressure, so I'm not here to be negative about anyone. It has dropped, and I think that people themselves are beginning to panic for their own selves, and so it has dropped. But I will tell you, the young adults in this ministry are now ramping it up because they are very bothered. So I would like to say, I hope this has brought up a bigger awareness. My telephone number is 868-355-5090. Just WhatsApp me. Tell me if you can help. Maybe even I know someone that needs help in your area if you WhatsApp me. But the point is this. No, not yet. It's dropped. And we need, as a nation, to really walk in independence. And that means taking care of our people.
Reverend Michelle Young, your independence message certainly is well received, and I want to thank you very much for joining us on the program. If you may just repeat one more time your contact information for those who may need to get in contact with you.
Yes, 868-355-5090, and you can find us on Facebook, Life and Life Ministries, and we'll have all our information out there as well. We are 62 to 64 Sackville Street in Port of Spain. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Michelle Young. All the best to you and Life Ministries as you continue to work for those in need here in Trinidad and Tobago.
God bless. Look forward, Peter, and take care.
All the
Bye.
best. Folks, we take a break now on the program, and then we head straight into news on the hour. We'll be right back after this.
Happy Independence from Motor Care and Maintenance MCM Limited for all your vehicle repairs, diesel and gas. Approved vehicle inspection station. Celebrate and enjoy life in your fully electric and hybrid Mini. Happy Independence TNT from LaFast Motors.
Nuance Security and Solar Systems Limited, ensuring value with renewable energy solutions for all.
We celebrate with TNT, Medical Associates Private Hospital, offering cutting-edge technology for all our customers' health issues.
You can become a highly trained emergency response professional that can operate in the health, corporate, industrial, and educational sectors. Tech EMS courses include EMT, AEMT, paramedic, BLS, ACLS, PALS, First Aid, CPR, AED, and other courses.
Register early for September 2022.
What's your choice? Choice Optical. That's my choice.
Welcome to the American University of Barbados School of Medicine. We offer 2 comprehensive MD programs, 5.5-year program for high school finishers and 4-year program for college graduates.
The American University of Barbados has been accredited with the Barbados Accreditation Council, BAC, and has been accredited
by CAMHP.
As the medical school has affiliate hospitals at Baltimore and Chicago in the USA and the Caribbean islands.
Register early for September 2022. The Guide family has been serving TNT for over 70 years. From the management and staff of JE Guide Funeral Home and Crematorium, Happy Independence. Independence greetings from J&A Supermarket and Deli on the Avenue. For your grocery items, market items, grab-and-go meals, plus mobile phones and accessories.
Rise to the occasion with Cocky Lucky, exclusively sold at the Big Mike Wellness Center.
Number 19 Market Street in Aruka. Contact 346-26 or 338-7775.
Enjoy your independence. The Retail Warehouse Christmas Village is open. This independence, get a massive 50% off selected items while stocks last. When you need land, a home, or investment property, step-by-step property consultancy and management can help you. Happy independence.
Here is your WESN News on the Hour. I am Denise St. Clair. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Acting Top Cop agrees with Jamaican Prime Minister that a multi-dimensional approach is needed for crime. Health Minister discharged from the hospital. Woman gunned down in Santa Cruz. And internationally, U.S. life expectancy falls to lowest level since 1996. Now for the details. Acting Commissioner of Police McDonald Jacob is in agreement with Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness that guns are entering the country both through illegal and illegal channels. And this continues to be an issue in the fight against crime. Jacob was speaking at the TTPS Independence Day luncheon.
Recently, the Prime Minister of Jamaica stated that he's facing the challenge of illegal guns through both legal and illegal ports. Yes, we can say the same for Trinidad. The challenge in managing enterprise crime, criminal gangs, whose sole purpose is to infiltrate the state organizations, corrupt our institutions, and use the power they gain to facilitate illegal trade. The Prime Minister of Jamaica said that, and he was talking about Jamaica. We can say the same for Trinidad and Tobago.
Speaking directly to the Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was present at the luncheon, the acting top cop agreed that a multi-dimensional approach is needed.
Also, one of his concerns was about domestic crime, which feature more prominent in Jamaica. He indicated that it requires a multi-dimensional strategy to deal with this situation. Prime Minister, I'm in full agreement with your approach.
Health Minister Terence Yalsing was on Wednesday afternoon reviewed by the medical team at the Arima General Hospital and subsequently discharged to continue his recovery at home. The minister thanked the staff at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, Accident and Emergency Department for their initial attention, and also the staff at the Arima General Hospital for their caring and professionalism. The minister was admitted on Monday after displaying flu-like symptoms. One woman is dead following an attack at her boyfriend's home in Santa Cruz yesterday. Reports say 28-year-old Ashley Morris died after being gunned down by assailants at Lacano Road. Her boyfriend, 28-year-old Brandon Joseph, was shot in the right leg during the attack. Joseph is the brother of 26-year-old Javon Joseph, who was shot dead at Cakes Land, Lacano, Santa Cruz on Tuesday. On to international news now. U.S. life expectancy has fallen to the lowest level since 1996, continuing a steep decline, largely driven by the COVID-19 pandemic. Government data showed life expectancy at birth now stands at 76.1, compared to 79 in 2019. That is the steepest two-year decline in a century. COVID-19 was the main contributing factor, according to U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data. Well, that was your news to the hour on WESN. I am Denise St. Clair. Thanks for watching.
Of many varied races, may we possess that common love that binds and makes us one. Let it be known around the world that we can boast of unity and take our pride in our liberty. God bless all isles of tropic beauty, of flaming poignant and the shady the warm and sparkling waters that break upon our shores beat out a tune that seemed to tell we take our pride in our liberty. God bless our leaders. Give them grace, God. Give them grace to God. Bestow on them thy judgment. Bestow on them thy judgment wise to rule the land aright. Keep our flag of freedom high. To keep our flag of freedom high. We may sing, that we may sing most lustily. We take our pride in our liberty. We take our pride in our liberty.
Welcome back to Talking Point here on WESN Content Capital. Following that interview with Reverend Michelle Young and the painting of the reality on the ground, and I keep hearing it, ladies and gentlemen, even up to yesterday, a gentleman came and spoke and said you know, I support you and Sean very much, Keaton, because y'all actually have an understanding. No, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, I heard it. You know, y'all actually understand what's going on in the ground. These people in high offices have no clue what's taking place. They have their own agenda, their own thoughts. And whatever the finance minister is going to say on Friday, I'm telling you from now, tomorrow night, does not paint a picture of reality on the ground. Because the finance minister should have the courage and the guts to actually address what Reverend Michelle Young just mentioned.
Hey, his apartment building is more or less finished. But I just like to point out, now, I wouldn't have necessarily known, like, fully as a fact that was the truth. But more or less, we suspected it. We kind of knew it, generally speaking. It's not necessarily outside of what we expected, but still to hear it, it's a bit of a gut punch.
And that is the thing. I am not trying to politicize this situation. I'm just simply stating that regardless, yes, I love Reverend Michelle Young's independence message, regardless of all this great pride, this patriotism, this nationalism, we have not been able as citizens to help each other. We have not helped our own.
No.
And quite frankly, those in government have not either. So it's not politicizing it, you know. It is a fact.
Now, let me just point out, because I always said, money with the government, we have a lot of needs. You can't just ask them to do more and find money from nowhere. That said, leadership, communication, managing expectations, these things don't necessarily cost that level of money. And part of it is to get the country to understand, listen, we have a problem and we need people who can help to help. And right now, after COVID, we are in a situation where certain corporations are still recording profits each quarter. And I understand, yes, it's a fine line. You don't want to risk your viability. Corporations are not too big to fail, just so you know. But still, if some of those corporates, as good corporate citizens, could be diverted to help their fellow citizens get meals. We're not even now talking about luxury, entertainment, education. We're talking about food and potentially water. If we could see some of that kind of goodwill, who is going to step up to the plate and be the first corporate citizen to do it? Because that kind of goodwill could last for decades.
Okay, but some of these
But who's going to do it?
I haven't seen it. Some of these corporate entities, and let us be realistic, because we are chastising individuals and entities, and yes, they need to do their part. Even you and I could do more. We know we could do more. I just mentioned it, you know, the mere fact that I was able to wake up this morning, you know, and come here and do this program. And the mere fact, okay, so you might have a craving later, you might have the opportunity to fulfill it. Some of them don't even know where the next meal is coming from. The point is, some of these corporations and entities as well, they cannot even afford to pay their employees full salaries. They can't afford to pay them on a whole. In fact, they don't know at the end of the month whether or not they are going to pay them.
But I'm talking about the ones who are recording profits.
You mean ones like Republic Bank who charges $25 for a sheet of paper?
I am not naming names.
I will name names. I'm not afraid. Right? I will name names.
The ones who are recording profits, or also with regards to food and beverage places, maybe look to your wastage and see what policies and what creativity we could apply to take what would be wasted food and get into the hands of people before
France has done that.
It is wasted food.
France has done that. Groceries and restaurants in France, they cannot actually throw out food. If the food is still deemed as good and could be put to use, they cannot throw it away. It's illegal. They have to donate it. They have to donate it.
Let's have the law, spiritual law, to get that done in here. That's a whole different kettle of fish. We've been holding off. We have her waiting for too long. We have our first caller of the morning. Let me be the one to welcome our first caller of my first show back. Good morning, caller from Digger Martin.
Hi guys, good morning, and thank you,
good
Sean,
morning.
my small welcome back. Lovely to see you, and in that shirt too. Okay, so how's that? But Sean, I have a joke for you, as you mentioned your sore throat. Because one day, I just heard a hoarse voice on the TV, and then you just vanished. But I thought you had some studies or exam or something. Then another day, my TV was accidentally, I have to say, on the sports show. And I heard a hoarse voice again. So I'm like, what's up with WESN and this hoarse voice man? How is he everywhere? then I saw it was you, and you did look ill. But I watched 10 minutes or so, which I would never do unless it was cricket. So the hoarse voice man was identified, and Kemuel was great, thanks, but this yin-yang of Keaton and Sean Michael is special. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you, caller. Thank you.
And Keaton, just one thing about the garbage. Since 2020, I said that we are nowhere near climate change action because people still fling garbage, whether walking or out of cars. And KFC, the staple food people, they don't even know they should have bins outside. Again, individual responsibility, pride. And by the way, Japan, if one peach is tarnished, that's it. They're the opposite. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller.
No. I think she's right.
Follow the for a second.
With regards to climate and pollution and all of these things, we have issues with plastic. We have issues, maybe not so much more with styrofoam, although I've seen some of the new styrofoam containers. They look like traditional styrofoam, but they're supposedly biodegradable. I don't know exactly how that works. But plastic, and I'm not talking about straws, I'm talking about bottles.
I wonder what the stringency of
bottle caps
of getting approval for some of these products are, because I have a feeling that anybody could call something biodegradable or green, just slap a photo or a stamp on it and sell it, and there's nothing different.
60th anniversary. What is our 60th anniversary? What is the government's birthday present to the 60th anniversary nation? Well, legislation done by simple majority.
Are we speaking about firework legislation that could even happen before
in general, to say that we're going to regulate things like styrofoam and plastics on a simple majority, I don't know if that's going to fly.
The only thing that we could have regulated here in TNT over the last 60 years, the one thing that we can say has always been constant is white-collar crime. That's the one thing we could always say is constant. And you see that lazy mentality attitude as well. Oh boy, listen, when it comes to crime and thieving, trainees are not lazier. Just bear that in mind. Well, not all trainees.
It's because they're lazy, that's why they thief, because they don't want to work.
Some people might get upset. No, they're lazy to work, but they're lazy to thief.
Only foolish people like us and people in WSN actually work and yeah.
No, they have some hard-working people out there. Good morning.
They are, yeah.
Anyway, we'll call on
we're all fools.
Apparently so. They say crime don't pay, right? Tell that to the politicians. We have a call on the line with us from Diego Martin. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to Kemuel, wherever he is. I miss you, my brother. Sean, welcome back. I'm glad to see you, and you're looking very good.
Thank you,
nice.
thank you.
I sure all your prayers have been answered, and that's why you're looking so fit and fine this morning. I'll give you a remedy for your cold that you have that cough, because I went through that same thing at party you went through. And there's something called care codeine. It's an excellent cough medicine. It will eventually get that cough away. It has codeine linctus in it. And that's an old medication that people use a long time.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about,
very expensive.
For a dry cough,
moderate price item. I feel for that lady who was speaking this morning from Life. And I tell you, I mean, there are so many people that are really suffering in this country. I tell you. I used to do a lot of that work myself a long time, my father and my parents and I. There was an institution in Cookville, we used to feed 75 children. And we did that for many years. And when I say feed children, I mean proper meals. And we did that for many years. And we did it, we cooked ourselves and went and delivered the food and gave to the children there. And then there's certain people used to distribute the food. They used to take out of it, but then after we got to realize that, and I spoke to them and I asked them, how many of you are here serving? They told me about 6 or 7. And we started to increase the thing to give them a certain amount so they can have for themselves, so they would not interfere with those 75 children. And we did that, and it's a good thing to do once you can afford it, but my health has deteriorated where I can't do those sorts of things anymore. But it's a good thing to do. Once you can afford it and you can help in any way, it's always good to help, because there are days that may come, some part of your family may need that sort of help, and you will welcome them, have that same opportunity. So guys, it's great to see you all back. And Kemuel, my friend, I will wait for you on next week Wednesday to look at your program, and I hope you all have a very good day, and thank you for taking my call as normal. Thank you.
Mr. Joseph, it is always a pleasure hearing from you. Mr. Joseph actually revealed his full name last week on Tuesday, so now we understand. But it's a pleasure hearing from you, sir. And your prayers certainly have worked when it comes to Sean, because he was down and out. And Mr. Diego Martin, you're right. No offense, he did sound like a horse, and I know we weren't a slave driver behind Sean. Actually, Sean was being a little too stubborn when he told him to rest.
No, well,
but he took some time, and I'm glad that he did.
Because I was scheduled and I didn't want a last minute cancel. So, but of course, after that day, that was that was too much. It took too much out of me. That was an interesting day.
We have a caller on the line with us from Shigonas. Good morning, caller.
Morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Professor.
Good morning, Professor.
The last time we talked about pride of independence, and I indicated that I saw nothing that we have achieved due to independence, because we always had great people doing things. And I have listened and read extensively, and I have seen nothing anybody put up except the leader of the opposition, who claimed by putting education for all was a great thing. And that is madness, because what she did was to send people for academic education who are unsuited for academic education, and that have increased the failure rate and the frustration of these people. What Williams had done, I keep telling he was the best. When he met this problem, was to expand technical education and vocational education, because every student have some skill, they're not all in academic.
Yeah.
We went on the weekend, the money spent on Riverside Plaza. And that is the small thing. I have explained to you that was part of the Southeast redevelopment plan. Started from the top of Rose Hill, going down to the sea, covering sea lot, where the port was supposed to be extended down to the dump. And we have destroyed that. The loss on that is at least $15 billion that our politicians have lost in that by not carrying out that. And that is the financial aspect. The major aspect is the crime. Because leaving those old shacks and whatnot, they provide the environment for crime. And nobody had mentioned that. The Prime Minister went somebody and they come up with one plan. If you had listened to your program, you would have put the answer to that many times. Because one of you all said they don't know what to do, don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't. They have not.
Dr. Rowley said about 7 years ago that Kamla was behind 7 years and 4 years in
annual administrative reports.
Now he is 7. That is what you have to do. That is how you deal with not only crime, but every problem we have. And you keep talking about money.
Professor.
Money is not the problem. The failure to collect the money is the problem.
Professor, go ahead, very quickly.
Yeah, last 2 times I called you because they cut off my phone.
Yes.
Right? So thank you, well, gentlemen. Unless you have some questions.
No. I agree with your first.
I hang up on this.
I agree with your first point. I will expand on and support your first point. But we do have another caller, so we don't want to take up too much time.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good day. Good hearing from you. We have a caller on the line with us from St. Anne's. Good morning.
Caller. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning.
I am just calling out of concern. Yesterday morning when I was home looking at the parade, just as the troops and everything was ready to do that march through the town, right? There was a broadcast on the system where a mother, little 2 or 3 year old daughter had strayed away from her. Good. And I looked at TV last night. I didn't hear anything that came up. So I am just wondering if by any chance this child was found eventually. Because I remember on Fuzzy Muhammad Morning Edition, and I believe on your show also, where you all spoke about, you're going out for fireworks. Keep your children close.
Yes.
But this happened that morning, right there after the Jamaican Prime Minister left, Mr. Rowley left, And I felt, my God, look at what is happening even on the day of our anniversary. A little 2-year-old strayed from her mother in that crowd right there. But I never heard nothing about, kind of reassuring people, yes, the little child has been found.
Well,
because,
Kola, let me,
that mother would have gone through an agonizing time.
Yeah, well, Kola,
that morning yesterday.
Thank you for your concern, Kola. I believe that the child was found, otherwise we would have heard more about it. I believe the child was found. And you raised a very good point. By the way, Kola, thank you very much. We'll have to end it there because we have to go for a break. But we mentioned it on Monday. The acting ASP mentioned it on Monday as well. Yes, the mother would have had a very bad time, put it that way, a traumatic time. But the mother bears responsibility as well for the child straying away.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for the mother. You had a job to do, and unfortunately, thank God the child was found. Otherwise, this show might have been completely different this morning. Let's take a quick break here on the program.
Happy Independence from Motor Care and Maintenance MCM Limited for all your vehicle repairs, diesel and gas. Approved Vehicle Inspection Station. Celebrate and enjoy life in your fully electric and hybrid Mini. Happy Independence TNT from LaFast Motors.
Nuance Security and Solar Systems Limited, ensuring value with renewable energy solutions for all.
We celebrate with TNT, Medical Associates Private Hospital, offering cutting-edge technology for all our customers' health issues.
You can become a highly trained emergency response professional that can operate in the health, corporate, industrial, and educational sectors. Tech EMS courses include EMT, AEMT, paramedic, BLS, ACLS, PALS, First Aid, CPR, AED, and other courses.
Register early for September 2022.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
What's your choice? Choice Optical. That's my choice.
Welcome to the American University of Barbados School of Medicine. We offer 2 comprehensive MD programs, 5.5-year program for high school finishers and 4-year program for college graduates.
The American University of Barbados has been accredited with the Barbados Accreditation Council, BAC, and has been accredited
by CAMHP.
As the medical school has affiliate hospitals at Baltimore and Chicago in the USA and the Caribbean islands.
Register early for September 2022. The Guide family has been serving TNT for over 70 years. From the management and staff of JE Guide Funeral Home and Crematorium, Happy Independence. Independence greetings from J&A Supermarket and Deli on the Avenue for your grocery items, market items, grab-and-go meals, plus mobile phones and accessories.
Rise to the occasion with Cocky Lucky, exclusively sold at the Big Mike Wellness Center.
Number 19 Market Street in Aruka. Contact 346-2630 or 338-7775.
Enjoy your independence. The Retail Warehouse Christmas Village is open. This independence, get a massive 50% off selected items while stocks last. When you need land, a home, or investment property, step-by-step property consultancy and management can help you. Happy Independence.
Welcome back to Talking Point, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly, we have to close the show, but I would just like to reiterate my support for the professor's point, and that is the fact that we underestimate other avenues for our young people to forge a path for themselves in technical fields. And I will always remember a story about somebody who had his degrees and he lost his white-collar job and he ended up making more money as an elevator repair technician in one of the big cities abroad. So that just goes to show you we underestimate the earning potential, and the fact is that we need people to do these jobs: carpentry, plumbing, electrical work, electricians. We have a shortage of them. We need them. So, yeah.
Anyway, folks, thank you very much to all our callers once more. That is my co-host, Mr. Sean Michael Small. It's good to see you back out once more. The press worked, certainly. Thank you very much.
Sorry, line twos, folks.
Anyway, we have to close the show. I'm Keaton Shah. This has been Talking Points. And yes, today is a good day to have a good day. People, please take some pride in the nation and clean up the damn environment. Oh, well, it could be littering still in this day and age, man. Lord, you all disappoint me. You all really, really disappoint me. But nevertheless, we'll still end the show on a good note. Enjoy.